Welcome to the Avalon training session. My name is Joe Martin and I'll be your trainer today. Avalon is the iPad EHR from QMD and it is fully integrated with QMD version 10G EHR to provide all the information provider needs to optimize care coordination and revenue generation. With Avalon, physicians can review all the clinical data and can effectively manage emergency calls from patients during after hours. If you do not have the Avalon app on your iPad, you can go to the App Store and search for QMD. The Avalon app will show up over there, and you can download it from there. As far as your logins are concerned, you will be able to use the same login credentials that you have on your QMD application in your QMD iPad Avalon app. So let's start today's training session. For that, I'm going to go ahead and open up the Avalon app and use my credentials to log in. As you can see, we are logged into the Avalon app. There are two sets of areas where you can navigate in this app. The first is the top right area where you have the patient search, adding a patient, refill request, new RX activity, and the setting panel. The other area where you can navigate through is tapping on the patient's name, and you can see you have 5 options coming on the right side of your screen. Now these options are patient demographics, patient insurance, document manager, patient referral, and e-superbill. As you can see, we are on a scheduler page, and in Avalon app, that is your home page. You can customize this as well. First, if you need to navigate through different date, you can simply tap on the date on the top, and you can choose the date of your desire. On the other hand, every practice has multiple locations, and every location has multiple physicians. What if you need to look at multiple physicians' schedulers? For that, what you need to do is you see under the appointment, you have a blue bar, and you have a physician name on the left and the location name on the right. You can tap on either of them to bring up this menu. As you can see, you have the locations and the provider or resource calendars coming up. You have the ability to select multiple locations or multiple providers based on your selection. Let's go ahead and see 2 physicians' calendars on the same location. For that, I'm going to go ahead and tap on multiple in the provider section, and I'm going to select the physician name. Once you have done it, simply tap on Done. The scheduler will refresh, and you can see 2 physicians' calendars coming up on the screen. Another thing you can see on the scheduler page is the similar information that you have on your QMD application. You can see the patient name, demographics information, appointment status, as well as the appointment reason. On the left side, the slot in which the appointment is booked and the status of the eligibility. If you need to check the eligibility for a patient, you can do that by tapping on the eligible or the pending status on the screen. Let's go ahead and tap on the status of the 10:30 patient. As you can see, you have a detailed real-time eligibility status of this patient, and you have multiple options coming up at the bottom. You can tap on individual items such as active coverage, co-payment, deductible, etc., and more information would come up on the screen. Once done, tap Close. Let's look at the top navigation panel. So the first one on the top right, as you can see, is the patient search. Please note, you can only search by patient last name in this section. And there's one different option that would come up over here, which I want to show you. Now let's go ahead and type in the last name of a patient. I'm going to type in Martin over here, and you can see the result shows any patient with the last name Martin. I'm going to go ahead and tap on Joe. And the 5 options that you could see at the bottom of the screen on the scheduler, now there is a new option coming up over here. And that option is Add Patient to Schedule. If you tap on that, then you'll be able to view the calendar, and based on the calendar, you can schedule the patient for an appointment. Let's go back to the top menu. The next option that you have is adding a patient. The options are similar to your QRMD application, so you can simply enter the required information and hit save, and the patient would be added into your QRMD application. I would like to mention, as we said earlier, this app is completely integrated with your 10G application. So any information that you update over here will be reflected in your QRMD application in your office. The next option on the top is the refill request. As you can see, you have all the refill requests coming up over here. The required information that you need to accept or reject, you can simply tap on that patient name or the medication, and the menu would come up where you will enter the required information and hit accept. Once you have accepted it, it will move to the right bucket where it says accepted, or all your rejected refill requests will be shown over here. Moving on, the next option next to refill request is your new RX activity. Again, this is completely integrated with your QRMD application, so all the data that is reflected over here would be same as your QRMD application in your office. You can review all the statuses of your prescriptions, and you can review all the information by simply tapping on the particular prescription, and you have an option to resend, or you can get the details of the particular prescription. The next option is the home page. You just tap on it and it will take you back to your scheduler page. Lastly, you have the setting option in which you have the help section or the log out button. Coming back to the home page, now I was telling you the other options where you can navigate through the Avalon app is by tapping on the patient name. So let me go ahead and tap on this patient, Tim Madison. And the 5 options which are coming right now is patient demographics, insurance, document manager, referral, and e-bill. Let's go through each and every one of them. Demographics, once you open it up, one thing that you'll notice is those 5 options that were coming up on the right are showing up on the top left of your screen now. So you can navigate through here too. Demographics area is shown over here. You can edit any information. On the right side of the screen, you have a small banner in which you have the clinical review, the most recently taken vitals, allergies, and any notes that you have attached to this patient's chart. So you can see the call for a follow-up, it's due, or balance is pending. You can add any notes by just tapping on Add Note and checking the check mark over here. The next option is the patient insurance. We'll come back to the clinical section, clinical review in a minute. Let's just look at the option on the top left first, and then we'll go ahead and show you how to edit the clinical information or view it, as well as creating a provider note. As you can see, you have 2 primary plans for this patient. Whenever you want to review, just simply tap on it, and it will open up any information associated with this particular insurance plan. Coming back on the top, the next option that you have is the document manager. All the documents that are attached to this patient will be shown over here, including images as well as the PDF documents. You can review it as well as you can add another one by simply tapping on the camera icon on the top and use the same camera as your iPad in order for you to attach a document to this patient. The next option is patient referral. You can view all your previous referrals by tapping on View All option on the top. The last option is e-bill, which is same as you have in your QRMD application. It's not much different. You still have the search features over here. So if I start to type in 250.00, it will just suggest me the diagnosis that I'm about to choose. The other option is all your templates that you have, in your QRMD application for eSuperbill would be available over here. So if I tap on templates, it will give me the last visit codes or any templates that I've saved in the QRMD application. I'll simply open it up, select the procedure, and hit done. As you can see, the procedure code is now shown on my eSuperbill. I have the similar options, save and sign. Whatever you select over here will be reflected on your QRMD application. Let's move on to the next section, which is clinical review. So we simply need to go to the patient demographics, and then on the right side, the banner that I mentioned before has the option of clinical review. Let's open it up. Let's open it. Once it loads, you can see all the clinical information which has been entered for this patient is shown on your screen. It includes all the vitals, diagnosis, lab results, including the documents at the bottom of the screen as well. Let's look at a few features. One of the settings that you have is on the top right of your screen, in the settings option on the clinical review setting. This lets you configure the order of all the clinical components on the screen, as well as you can change the order and enable or disable these clinical components too. So let's say I would say I don't want to see the lab results on the screen. I can simply tap on it and it will make it disappear, or you can enable it back on. Secondly, I would like the vitals to come underneath the allergy section. For that, you will press and hold the vitals and drag them all the way under the allergy section. Once done, tap on done. Here we go. Now it will refresh and the vitals are coming up on the top. The next option that I want to show you is what fields can be edited while you're in the clinical review section. The medications can be added over here while you are on the clinical review. The rest of the options can be added or edited once you create the provider notes. Otherwise, the rest of the information is only in the view only mode. So for example, if I want to see a bit more detail about the chief complaint, I can tap on chief complaint and it will give me the detailed information. If I would like to look more about vitals, I'll tap on vitals and additional information will show up over here. Here we go. You can see I've just tapped on that and it's showing me all the charts. Now if I want to look at the tables, I'll tap on the icon on top right and it will show me the table information. Same goes for histories, medications, diagnosis, etc. You must have noticed a slider on top right of your screen. That shows the timeline of all the clinical components when they were added. For example, if I would like to view the clinical information that was entered in the last 3 months, I'll select it on 3 months. If I would like to view the information that was added for in the last 1 year or so, I'll move the slider onto 1 year, and any clinical information that was added in the last 12 months would be shown over here. Eventually, I can just move the slider to all, and every clinical information will be listed over here. The next option I want to show you is the notes section. So if you scroll down, as you can see on the screen, the notes are given over here, are shown over here. Anything which is signed will have a locked sign next to it. The rest are, all the notes in the draft mode. So if I need to add a provider note, I can simply do that by tapping on the Add button on the top right. It will give me the Add Note menu in which I can select, the visit reason, etc. At the moment, only the blank template is available because, we need to have a certain components based on your selection coming up over here. So your default, templates are not available at the moment. So let's say I'm going to go ahead and hit continue. This provider node added successfully, and it will take me to the customization section. Similar to your QRMD application, if there is any component which is unassociated, would be shown on the top. The rest are shown on the right side of your screen. The interface is pretty much the same. The only difference is now you can drag and drop the components onto the left side in order for them to view. The order of these components will be decided. If you remember a few steps before, we selected the order of the components in the clinical review section. That order would remain the same. So for example, if I drop in allergies on here, and then I drop in medications, and you can see the medication was supposed to be on the top and allergies at the bottom, so it will just, the order of this would be the same as you decided before. You can change that afterwards too. So for example, let me show you how to add these components, and then we can see how to customize these. So let me just drop in the vitals here. If I tap on the vitals, it will show me any additional vitals that were taken on the previous days. I'll drag one here, and it's coming up over here. Let's look at the histories. I'm going to drop in the family history over here, and social too. Now let's look at on how to edit the clinical components, which we mentioned earlier is only possible when you are in the Add Notes screen in the Avalon app. So let's say I want to edit the social history. I'll tap on social history, and you can see on the right side of your screen any components that you added in your provider node is showing up. So if I need to edit it, I can just go ahead and just select tobacco use, any information which is similar to what it shows in your QRMD application. At the same time, if I need to edit the family history, I'll tap on the family history on the right, and this information is going to come up. Same goes for vitals and medications and allergies and so on. Once you have made all the changes, you hit save, and you'll come back to the provider notes. Similar to your QRMD application, you do have the option to save or sign the provider notes. Please note any note that was signed over here will be reflected onto your QRMD application. Thank you very much for attending this training session on Avalon. If you have any further questions, please contact me at joe.martin@qrmd.com, or you can reach our support team at 718-684-9298, and they'll be glad to help you out. Also, do join us for our next webinar, which is titled Must Know Secrets for Easier EHR Documentation, and it will be held on May 19th. Thank you very much, and have a great day.